Get it going right here, right now. This is TMI, and you're listening to episode number 6 of Too Much Information right here on the Shelly Martinez YouTube channel. If you didn't know by now, my name is Chad, and every single week I am joined here by the vampire queen herself, the one and only Miss Shelly Martinez. Shelly,
Yes.
welcome to TMI.
Dude, I am sick. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how it'll go. It's one of those things where I've been fighting this cold for about a week now, but I didn't admit that I'm sick until about 2 days ago. That's when I finally was like, okay, yeah, dude, I'm sick. And so here I am, dude. I did my best. You guys are lucky. I gotta have my makeup on, and I did my hair because at first I was like, I don't care if I don't have any makeup or my hair is done. But then I was like, no, I'll feel better, and I'm glad I did. So here we are.
Good job. I saw something. I don't know if you mentioned it in a tweet or a text or something that said cold, and I got nervous because I was like, I would like to get my TMI fill in today. So I was a little nervous. So
Well, the
thank
way
you.
I look at it is when I don't feel there's one thing when you feel so crappy, like you just got to rest. And so like I've had a couple of days to I guess kind of rest, not really though. But the way I looked at it was like, dude, I don't have to get in the car and drive anywhere. Like I just really just have to go outside and go into the bat cave. So it's not that big a deal, I got my comfy pants on, got my comfy top on. So that's why I was like, you know what? I think I can put a little pizzazz with my very fancy. I don't bust this one out all the time. I've had this for a long time. Flower. And this is one of my favorite necklaces I like to wear. Of course, duh, why not, right? And I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna put that makeup on. And like I said, I'm glad I did because as I was doing it, I was like, you know what? Even though I feel like crap, I feel like a good piece of crap right now
Good.
because I'm shined up bright. There you have it.
It's funny. You got your little flower and your necklace. I forgot my chain tonight. I don't have my chain, which is very rare. And I had to decide. I had which pair of sunglasses to wear. Didn't know which hat to wear. Have two other hats on the side. So I go again. I go through the same process that you do, just in a different way, just in a different selection method. So there you go.
The makeup though, that's the thing,
No
dude. The
makeup, just no
the
makeup.
makeup
All
is
natural.
is the thing that can be stressful sometimes. Especially like I know you can't relate, but maybe some ladies out there can. There's nothing worse than when you're doing your eyeliner or your mascara and then somehow it gets like on your cheek or right by above your eye or it smears all together. It's a whole
Oh,
thing,
I can tell, but I'll tell you what, our lady audience is growing because,
Yeah.
when we first started together, our audience was 100% male, and I can proudly say it is now 99%
There you go. Hey,
male.
1%,
Woo!
one
Growing
percenter.
the female demographic. Now, whether or not the chatster has something to do with that, I don't know, but
Mm.
remains to be seen. So, not feeling well. Anything else going on in the last couple of days? Exciting in your world?
Yeah, but I left my notes in the house, so I forget.
Well, I mean, we can grasp at straws if we need to.
I know. It's just been one of those things where it's interesting because and this is for me why I always stick to doing what I do, which is, things like this, having online series or different podcasts or whatever throughout the years is because doing whatever format I've done it in, I always learn about myself. Point in case, the whole saga that is me and Kevin Thorne and decoding all of that, the big chunk of that process started here on TMI. So there's that. And then like on Vampire Radio, things that like it's just like all the things. So it's crazy because now I'm going through another season of just connecting the dots and understanding myself completely different situations, different like, I'm on an apology tour right now. I'm on this apology tour right now because I look at things differently, and I'm just like, even though there's some people, I stand by certain things that I've said throughout the years or whatever, but I look at the whole situations differently where I owe people apologies. And that's what's been going on, so it's been crazy, dude. And then fighting this cold, and that's the thing, that's why I thought maybe I'm just run down, and, like, going through that whole process is a lot, but then I was like and then I had my period, so I was like, "Oh, it's just my period. Oh, it's fine." But then I was like, "No." Oh, I think it was on Monday, I was like, "I don't feel good. I'm sick. Alright, let's take care of this." So, that's what's been going on with me. It's deep, it's a lot. My mind has been blown. And this is again going back to why I do what I do, because it's not just about making some money and finally making money for what I love to do, and it's all the hard work is paid off. But I can't stop because if I don't, how am I going to discover these parts of me or like whatever without it? So there you have it.
We were almost borderline TMI there for a moment.
It was.
Borderline. But it's hey, listen, but that's why, yeah, exactly. That's why you do these kinds of things, because talking, being forward with what you do and share, it's cathartic. It's almost like an act of therapy, because when you talk and get things out, it can express those emotions. So I've seen it through you and how you've developed that over the last couple of weeks. It's made you feel, very good about it. And I watched your Royal Rumble review, and
Oh,
I saw how happy you were doing that, right? And one of our first conversations was, I'm not really up on current wrestling. I'm not really watching current wrestling. Well, you know what? You did a hell of a job reporting on a current topic, which was the ladies' Royal Rumble. So to me, I mean, that's such growth right there in something that a month ago you had no knowledge of. So I thought that right there was just a tribute to how much, talking and working through things has brought you just in that short amount of time.
1000%. And here's the thing, that is, I believe, the fourth time I have been on Ring the Bell. And the reason why is when I did my first interview, I had such a positive experience and had those freaking moments. And then I've done now 3 reviews on different women related current stuff. And it's been very sporadic, right? Because this has been like through a couple years now, right? So, or at least a little over a year, maybe. So it's like, it's not a consistent thing. And so, like, every time I do it, it brings back this like part of me. That's why I can't help it. And that's what I love about DS, the host of Ring the Bell. He's so good at what he does, and he's so inspiring to me. And so it's so cool to collab. And going back to my midlife crisis that I'm having, I was just talking to my friend earlier about it. I was like, I'm overdoing my videos online now where I put like the words in it, the captions, because it's so much extra work. And because I'm a girl and me, Shelly, I have to have it cute. So, like, I had to have the pink, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, that's just extra work. And you know what? Back in freaking Y2K era, that's not what was going on. You didn't have to do all these things or whatever. It was about a good presentation of the video. And you know what? And then one of the things I've learned is one of the thoughts behind doing that is people when they're scrolling don't can't listen to it or they have their volume off. So that's why it's important to have the words. Well, guess what, bitches? If you're going to be watching my stuff, I'm not going the extra mile anymore because it doesn't change any of my views. So, like, going back to those roots and Y2K, excuse me, Y2 Shelly era. That's what it is. This is Y2 Shelly era.
How to Shelly.
My Y2 Shelly era, back when I was so inspired by these different YouTubers who were making good money at doing YouTube before it was oversaturated. Like, I thought they were all cool friends because they were all collabing and doing these different videos together and all this. And so before I realized that, like, really they were just being opportunist about it, when I bought the fantasy about it, I was like, I want to do that. And so when I get to collab with DS, that's what I look at it as. And when I was on my way over there, me and Kat, we drove together. She drove us. And I just felt like, see, this is how it was back in the YouTube era when it was thriving with it before the oversaturation. You would see people, they'd go to so and so's house and they're going to do this review of this. And so it makes me extra, extra, extra happy to specifically do Ring the Bell because now that DS lives here, that's why I told him, I was like, if you move to California, I am going to be collabing with you. Because that first interview, he didn't live here. He was still working in Chicago and that's where he was living and doing his collabs there. And so those videos in particular do, and I'm so happy that you saw my extra shine in it, bring an extra sparkle to me because of that and that energy. And I freaking love it.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, and what I love about it too is seeing you, and also, I mean, what do you call her? Kat? I mean, Katie Lee Birchall.
Katie
That's how
Lee.
I know her. Winter from TNA.
Winter. Let's not forget about Winter.
Love the Winter character.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing you guys in that element, and two of you who you don't see often together. I mean, that was such a unique panel, and I'll give DS credit as well because he's covered, covered. He's retweeted a lot of stuff in the past for Eyes Up Here. You know, I've seen him around, and what he does is a unique niche product, and that's different. And for you, who has been all over YouTube since the mid 2000s, I feel your pain because I've been doing podcasting for over 10 years. And I was in the early days of posting podcast interviews, and when they were getting, thousands of views, and that was impressive. And now I see that you have to make them so stupid and the dumbest things to try to get clicks. And it makes me sick. But what you guys did on that video, I loved. I loved every second of it. I thought it was very good. And, that's the kind of content that I like to see out there. Not these super soundbite, stupidity, social media bits that we have to click through every goddamn day. I can't stand it.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that we entertained you in that way because I don't want to speak for all of us, but I will. I think that was our point and the energy going into it. And the thing is, what people probably don't realize is Kat is actually one of my really good friends. We hang out, not enough, but like when I have parties here at my house and stuff, she's always here. Like I don't know. I don't think about, oh, let's take a picture. I'm just there doing it. So it sucks because I wish I did have pictures of us hanging out and stuff like that. So it was really cool to do this with her because she's very, very special to me. Of course, I met her when I was in OVW, and when I moved back to California, I don't remember what year she moved here, but not too much longer after. And she was one of the people that like were the only ones that would, because there's like a handful of people that I knew from wrestling that would move to the LA area for a while and then they ended up moving out. And when they would lived here, Chad, they wouldn't give me the time of day. They were never inviting me anywhere. They were never trying to hook up with me. None of that. I was so butthurt about it that like I unfollowed a lot of people and like I just had issue with it. Like it hurt my feelings. But Kat, dude, when she moved here, she always invited me. always, always, always. And I remember there was a time where when Lucha Underground was around, Vince Russo took me, Kat, and a couple other people out to the Rainbow on Sunset. And when we were there, I remember Vince was just like looking at me and Kat, and he was like, you know, I noticed, Kat, that like you hang out with like a lot of different people, but like I don't really see you hanging out with Shelly. Like, what's good? And I said, no, no. Kat's the only one that ever just invites me. That's why I'm at this table with you guys and I like whatever. And I went in this whole thing. So then there was that era. But then there was this era where when I was doing the indies, me and Kat, we were booked. It was so awesome. We were booked in Lompoc, California, and they have a flower festival. So me and Kat got to be in the flower parade in a convertible, all doing the deal. And then when we got to the like finish, that's where there was like this carnival. And then her and I had a match because there was wrestling going on. And then after our show, we went on the rides. There was music. Oh my gosh, it was so awesome. And it's exactly what I needed because at that time I was grieving just a couple months out of my grandma passing away. So I was like a mess. And that experience with Kat and like sharing the hotel room with her, the whole nine yards and everything, and where I was at, like, dude, I'll never forget that, and that always left an imprint on me, and then the fact that our relationship continues to grow throughout the years, I'm so grateful for it. So doing that video specifically with Kat, like when DS was like, "Hey, do you wanna do it with Winter?" I was like, "Oh my goodness, yes, like, let's do it," And it like I said, it was awesome just driving there with her, and then not only did it feel like that Y2 Shelly YouTube era, but it was reminiscent of me being an actress here in town, and you get books with your like your homegirls, and you're driving to the gig. It like feels so good. It's like this like movie magic that I can't really explain, but it's just like there. And when you're somebody that moves here or you live here and you look at entertainment in that way and like you just want to be a working actor actress, those moments, it's like that's what the movies make, and the television shows. Like, I always tell people, I feel it's my responsibility if they're from out of town to show you the magic that, like, it show because it is here. There's a lot of ugliness, but it is here. And so Kat's one of those people, man. You know, she gets it. And so it was just so awesome on so many effing levels that it didn't even occur to me that someone like yourself would watch it and get what you got out of it. So it makes me even more excited that we did that.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I watch it because now I have a vested interest. When you pop up in a different spot, I like to see where you are, so I could follow it for the show. But also I wanted to see what your thoughts were on the Rumble because I would have liked to have watched the Rumble live. However, it was rather difficult to watch the Rumble live because not only did you have to have this ESPN package, but then you had to pay $30 on top of it to watch the Rumbles like old school pay-per-view all over again. We got spoiled for the last like decade. Getting it for $10 or $8 or whatever, scamming everybody, doing a free Netflix trial or Hulu trial,
Whatever you
and
got
then
to do.
and
Yeah.
then canceling it, before you got billed. But what did you actually think of the Rumble match itself that you got to watch? Like short version for those that didn't watch the video.
Here's the thing, the whole Rumble all around, as a person coming from the era that I did, it was so cool to see so many different unique characters. And it's not only like, oh, characters like how I was very much a character. It's like these characters, man. It was real. It's like so interesting. And like to me, I forget until I do these reviews that that's where it's at. Like I kind of just like I'll see stuff online and I'll see girls or whatever, but seeing that whole Rumble together, it was just like, "Whoa, that is so awesome." And, you know, it just how am I gonna say this?
Oh boy. Do I need to hit the alarm or what?
No.
Okay. Save that.
Bottom line is that Rumble made me feel, brother. I don't
Okay.
care what anyone says. I don't care if there's people out there who are like, "Oh, this was this and that," because I've seen some negative things about written about it or people put it out there. But I don't know, call me a wrestling romantic because of my relationship with wrestling. It made me feel, and it's hard to make this old vampire bitch feel, especially when it comes with wrestling. It's very hard because I'm kind of resistant to it, right? Like by nature, because of whatever. But then at the same time, going back to what you were talking about earlier, I've had so much evolution. Batista, wasn't you part of evolution?
Gotta love that.
Okay.
Gotta love it.
So, but I did have a bunch, like, I had like an evolution, especially with not only just understanding the Batista thing differently, but then the points that you brought up, and then finding out Kevin's side of the story, and then you bringing up things from that up. And like, it's just like all these different things. So, when I went into this review, I think if you lined up the other times I did it, I bet you my vibe was completely different because I had let go of all that and I could enjoy it more. And when I watched it, there was times like out loud, I was like, "Yes, that was awesome," or like, "Yes, exactly," because I'm looking at it not just as a regular viewer, but I know how it works. I know the formula. I know what you're supposed to be doing in those moments. And so when I was watching it, I thought it flowed really well. I thought that I don't know, like, everyone had, like, a moment for the most part to shine and, like, did good business, got whoever they needed to get over, kept people strong who needed to be looking strong, even though there was times, like, even in the review, I was like, "Oh, I felt like this person or that person kinda held back," but it's like, well, they kinda had to because it's the Royal Rumble. It's, like, a bunch of people. It's like so whatever. So it was really exciting to me to watch it, and I didn't know what it was gonna be like going into it at all. So, it was at 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't even have coffee yet, like, I was watching it. And so, I don't know, like, people can say whatever in the negative and pick it apart, but I thought it did good business, and I like seeing women do good business because we have always been doing good business and not getting the props for it. And it sucks. Like, that's just what it is. That's why they always needed women in wrestling. You know what I mean? So it's just really cool to see all of that and see that evolution.
I hear it's a mystery evolution. So, all right. So now, how about the bodysuits? What'd you think of the cover up bodysuits on everybody? And could a Saudi bodysuit contain Ariel?
I'd make it work,
The
brother.
dog doesn't think so.
No, Minnie. No, Jack. So, I thought they were awesome. I thought they were awesome. Hold on 1 second. I understand why they had to do it. So in saying that, I thought everyone did an amazing job at the thought that they put into how it was gonna look, because everyone looks so freaking awesome. That was my whole thing. Like DS was like, "Who was your favorite dress?" And I was like, "Oh, you can't ask me that because I name one person and then I name another and then another because everyone just looks so great." And I really feel that how collectively they all looked great, that's part of the energy that was being put out into there. Like, you could tell everyone felt good. Like, it was good vibes. I liked it.
So Ariel would make it work.
I would make it work because I always do. Here's the thing: when the one time that I wrestled for WoW, it was a non-televised show, and this is what Dan, the announcer, rest in peace, told me then. He was like, "So I don't know how to tell you this because you're Shelly, but they want you to be covered up. And I was like, that's no problem. They're like, they have an outfit for you. And I was like, that's no problem. And so the outfit they had for me, because I was going to be doing my Day of the Dead character, it was black bodysuit with like this like stuff on it. I still have it. And oops, was I supposed to give it back? I still have it. I don't know why. And so I made it work, and it looked damn cute. And I remember a couple people being like, "Wow, like I didn't think that like I thought it was going to look some other way or I don't know what, but not being able to contain it as you said, but I made it work and I made it work good." So, yeah, I could totally have I would have taken liberties with my outfit for sure if I had to do that. I would have been very over the top. Like, oh my gosh, all those girls, man, they look so cute. And then they had Zelina with those like wing thingies. Oh my goodness. Like, oh,
She had a unique one. Chelsea Green had a unique one.
Chelsea always wears really cute stuff. She's
Like
like,
Alice in Wonderland.
if there was a yearbook, she would be best dressed, I think.
But, the thing that I kind of find a little funny about it is they have to cover up. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of whatever the law is in Saudi, but there's no law against shaking your ass and doing all the histrionics that you
Just
still
cover up.
do as part of your character's attributes. Because Nikki Bella still did the Bella twist thing. You know what I mean? Like they still did their usual things. They hit their spots in the entrances and did their little cues that they have. So laws against what they can wear, but not against the ass shaking and the other shaking of things.
As
No
long as it's
problem with
covered.
it. I got no problem with it. I'm here to say there was, I'm all here for the art. But yeah, that's what I thought was kind of funny about it.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? I don't know. It makes no sense, but it is what it is.
They got the rocket on Liv Morgan, though. That's for damn sure. They are all behind Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
Injury derailments have prevented that rocket a few times, but they are firmly behind her at the moment. So
I just like how you put it.
what else can I say? So, all right. So Royal Rumble is gone. The road to WrestleMania has begun. We will cover that as we need to.
And the road to WrestleCon, because I will be there.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I've never been to Vegas. I would love to go at some point. Right, it's in Vegas, right?
Yes.
Love to go to Vegas at some point. The last thing I want to go for is a WrestleCon. I will go anything but a WrestleCon. But that's awesome. I'm so glad that you're going. That's going to be great.
Yeah, I went last year and I'm going again this year. It's just really convenient for me because it's just like right there. So for my life right now, there you have it. It works out for me. So I will be there on the Saturday only. And I'm really looking forward to it because I have a agenda
Uh-oh.
this time going into it. So and I can't let the agenda out, I can't do that. So just stay tuned, everybody. This is the road to WrestleCon. Let's see what happens. The road to WrestleCon, dot, dot, dot. Let's see what happens.
As long as TMI benefits from it, I back
I
any
think
agenda
so.
you've got.
I think TMI is definitely a part of it. I'm definitely.
I back any agenda that you've got. So I'm down. Count me in.
But yeah, it'll be good. And I think because when I was there last year, it was interesting. I really didn't have the best time that I had there was the guy bringing me in, Ron. He and I we go way back. He used to have a I can't even talk right now. He used to have a I can't still want to say indie show. He used to have a local promotion back before I was like in WWE or anything, and I'd wrestle for him, Rev Pro, and he put
Oh, I
on
remember them.
really good shows, solid workers on there. So I felt pretty good that I got to always be on the shows, and I learned a lot and it was an awesome experience. He's always been really good to me. And he's one of the people here in SoCal, like the promoters that back then would go out of his way to like book me for little side thingies. Like these different little side thingies, like maybe like Hollywood needs wrestlers or like something like that kind of thing. And so
Right.
really it really gave me opportunities in working with things like that or one-off shows that were really fun, you know what I'm saying? So he was always been really good to me. So it was so cool that he was like, "Hey, you want to be at my table at WrestleCon last year?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness, yes." So that's what made it worth it and fun for me was hanging out with Ron and just catching up and all this. But there was like, I don't know, like for example, here's some TMI, I guess. I don't know if this is alarm worthy. Maybe
It's about to hit the alarm. Tell me.
I don't know if it's juicy, but it's
I
strict.
was going to put you one screen and on the alarm.
I don't know if it's juicy enough for the alarm. It's more so just kind of matter of fact. No, it's not alarm worthy. But here is some TMI. There was this promoter guy that I hit up about going to WrestleCon months before. And when I hit him up, he was just like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm gonna go to WrestleCon yet. I'll let you know, whatever." Okay, cool, I get that. So he's like, "Hit me up in January." I hit him up in January. And then he was like, "Oh, I still don't know yet." And I'm thinking, you know, I would think that people would like have this booked already. So I was like sniffing around trying to find. He's like, "I'll let you know." So then February rolls around and when he announced who he was bringing in, I was like, "Well, I guess he's going to WrestleCon." Like, he could have at least said something. And here's the thing, look, nobody owes anyone anything, right? So he doesn't owe me nothing. But I was trying to do good business by hitting him up many months ahead of time. Like, he could have at least said, "Look, I think I know who I'm gonna have, but if somebody can't make it, you can be like my standby," or something like that, or, "Oh, I already have some people in mind," something. But the fact that I had to find out through Instagram, my pink feelings got hurt quick, Chad. Like, I was real butthurt about it. And so I hit him up and I was like, "Oh, so I guess you're going to WrestleCon." And he was like, "Oh, I was talking with them months ago." And I said, "Yeah, and I hit you up months ago." And so I unfollowed him. No,
There you
no, I'm
go.
sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't unfollow him yet. That was strike 1. That's a big strike 1. Almost like 2 strikes worthy, right? So then fast forward, I'm at WrestleCon. Me and little Minnie are my dog. We go down to get coffee and I saw that guy. And so he looked at me and he made eye contact with me. And so I'm thinking, "Okay, so we're gonna talk now." And then he turned around and then walked the other way. And I was like, "Oh man, strike 2. Are you kidding me right now? Like, what the F?" Now, one can say maybe he felt like uncomfortable, he didn't know what to do, and he walked away. So that's why strike 2, brother, but that should be strike out. But I'm trying to be patient here. You don't know what people go through. I get that. Like, whatever, right? And so then after WrestleCon, when everything was said and done, and I came home, I said, "You know what? No. That's a strike 3. He's out." And then that's when
Yeah,
I
you got.
unfollowed him.
Yeah. Can
That's when
you
I
wait,
unfollowed
can you
him.
give me the name? I'm going to put myself as the main screen. Give me the name.
Oh, what's his name? He runs the promotion, the LAX Fan Fest.
Okay. I think I know who
I
that is.
forget his name.
Okay. I think I know who you're talking about.
You can go ahead. And then here's the thing. This person one of the reasons why I enjoyed following them is because I notice that they post a lot about spiritual kind of things, you know? Oh, it doesn't say his name.
Sometimes that's a red flag, though.
And so I was like, "Oh, um, sorry, I got distracted because I was trying to look up his name." So anyways, so I was like, "Oh, okay, I get like that's really cool." So I was looking forward to because there was a time where I was gonna work with this person, but then the show ended up getting postponed. So, like, that's why I didn't get to work with them. So that was my first introduction to this person. And so then, when I saw that they put, like, spiritual stuff out there, I was like, "Oh my gosh, how cool, like, to work with this person, whatever, and, like, you can have those kind of conversations maybe because at conventions, there's downtime, like, whatever." And so, I was all excited. And so I don't know. I was just like, "Man, that's not very Christian
No,
behavior." It's not
but
very Christian. And so, I don't know, I really took it to heart, and it's not this like, he owes me nothing. It's my fault for being too trustworthy. I don't know the person, but I got a little too invested because I thought he was a really nice guy, and maybe he is, but I think it's really, really crappy that he made eye contact with me, and you cannot tell me you didn't see me because we both had a moment like, "What do we do?" Both of us didn't know what to do. So that's why I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he just did like, "What do I say? I'll just pretend I didn't see her." Boy, did he. And so later, fast forward, I went and I did another convention here in Cali with Ron a couple months later, and that guy was there. Dude, he kayfabed me the entire time, and I was just like, "Oh my goodness, I can't," and I don't know what that is, and it's fine because I've learned in my journey that when I things like this happen and I don't understand, for so many years, Chad, I would like why? Why is it though? And I wanna know the answer because I just want closure. But what I've learned is I always end up finding out when I least expect it, like when I don't care anymore, kinda, when I let it go. And so I just learned that that's really God's way of protecting me from certain situations or people or something of that nature, because then when I find out why, I'm like, "Oh, okay, now it makes sense. Now it all makes sense." So who knows the reason why? But yeah, dude.
you know what he would be in my book? Pussy, big pussy.
Well, fine, that's fine, but
Come on, you gotta say something when you're that in that situation. And look, I've had my fair share of not so great interactions and experiences, but I mean, at the end of the day, you still say hello. If you've worked with somebody in the past, you still got to say hello and be courteous. And if you don't want to use somebody, at least give them the "this is why I can't do it this time" excuse. It happens, but you can't just blow them off. That's rude and it's unprofessional. And, it leaves a sour taste in somebody's mouth. But yeah, I mean, that's just being a
you
pussy.
know what I think it is though is I should have and I kinda did, but I waited to put out more fillers and try to, like, see if anyone else would book me or whatever. And then, I was gonna book myself, and I said, "Screw it, I'm gonna book myself." So I saved the money because it was $600, like, for the tables, it's steep. And so I had the money, and then I went in the morning. I was like, "Okay, in the morning, I'm gonna do it." And I went, and it was, like, sold out. I was like,
Sometimes
"Oh
that's the
my
way to go, though.
gosh."
At WrestleCon, sometimes that's the way to go because it's pretty lucrative. It's not bad, but then again, there's the guarantee of you don't have to worry about anything.
But the point is like, it was an interesting road to WrestleCon last year. So much so to like, I forgot about that until like right now. I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. I was gonna just like do it myself. Oh my gosh. So like there's that. And there was a lot of like kind of weird moments. And it kind of like bummed me out. I remember feeling very depleted after I left. Thank God for edibles and Ron Riviera, dude, because without those things and coffee, because without those things, I don't know how I would have survived it. And then here was the thing. Okay, so get ready. Here we go. So covering it up.
I
Okay.
got it. I got it.
He is weird. I always felt weird vibes from him. There was this one time in band camp and one time in life camp where I was very brand new in ECW and being on the road, and had a room, and I was waiting for Cherry. Remember Cherry?
Oh,
I know you know Cherry.
absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
we were going to be sharing a room because Cherry, Deuce, and Domino had just started being on the road. And when you first start, they pay for your hotel at first, like to kind of get you going, you know? So my time had come to an end of getting that hookup, but it was perfect for me because I've always, to this day, still friends with Cherry. So I was going to bunk with her. So I was waiting for her to come and where we were at. And I just remember I was medicating with those dudes, and I got so effing medicated that like I had to, and I just remember looking at, and I knew I should leave. Not like something bad was going to happen to me,
Mm-hmm.
but like his energy, and not like like I said, not like anything shady was going to happen to me or anything like that at all, but it was just like a heaviness. And I was like, ooh, almost like looking at a demon. I was just like, oh, I'm out of here. This is killing my medicated vibes. Like, ew. And it freaked me out, and it turned me from like being super medicated to like over medicated because I was kind of like creeped out by it spiritually, you know? I was like, oh man, I don't know. And so I was like, okay, well, Cherry's here. I got to go. And I left. And it's so funny because I wonder if Nick Nemeth remembers this. I called him from a payphone because that's the time it was from a payphone.
Remember those?
Yeah. And there was like, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so high right now. And I was in the room with those guys, and like the one creeped me out. Da, 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 and I think this person, they know. And then this is where the paranoia came in. I gotta give it to them. They had some good medicine. So if you can picture, I'll use my keyboard as an example. Oops. I'm messing up now. Okay, so like let's say that's not gonna be good. Let's say this CD cover here is a wall, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so on the other side of the wall here is where the payphone is. And then right here is where like people can walk up and check in. I was so medicated out of my mind that I thought they were watching me. So I was on the phone and I just go like this. Like, and I was like, oh my gosh, Nick. Like a damn movie. Oh my gosh, it was so crazy. So that's like my personal experience with that person. But like, here's the thing. There was a while back when I talked about a situation about, probably have heard about it. Have you heard about that?
I have not, but I'm just gonna do this because you covered your mouth 4 times.
TMI. We're about to give you some TMI. I've been giving TMI. So you got to follow the story. I know it's a lot, but I'm coming back. I promise.
Okay.
So he was really good friends with that person.
Right.
And so when I was saying some things, I know there was people that were mad at me, and I know he was one of them. And so I was sitting down waiting for something in the like the VIP like photo experience. Oh, I just got done doing mine, and I was waiting for like something. I can't remember what. So he comes in with some other dudes that they were part of a group together, and then he goes, is that Shelly fucking Martinez over there? I was like, oh my God, here we go. And came over to me and he was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, thank God." He was the one that helped diffuse that other situation. So he was the perfect one to be there to help something not because I felt it, dude.
You just felt the energy.
I felt the energy. So then it's like, and oh, that's what it was. The last thing I had to do before like my shift was over at the WrestleCon was doing this VIP thing. So I was waiting for because how they do it is like they have time slots. And so for so many minutes or however long people or how many people want to get pictures with certain people, they have these time slots.
Right.
So my time slot was right after that groups. And so I was waiting for the people to come because in my group. And so that's when this exchange happened. Thank goodness for Minnie too, because she was a good distraction. That's what made come over and be like, "Oh, your dog." Da, da, da. I was like, "Yes, thank God." He was like, "How are you?" And giving me the hug. And so like it was already weird, the whole WrestleCon, and I felt like finally I was gonna meet some fans, have a good interaction, take my photos with them, and be done. And then it has to end like that with that person.
Right.
Like, it was heavy vibes, and it was hard to shake off. And now going into WrestleCon, and who knows what'll happen from now till then. Like, if WrestleCon was tomorrow, I feel I would have more fun that I didn't even walk around last time because the heaviness. And it's like, I wanna walk around like, that's who Y2 Shelly was. People used to be like, "There goes Shelly with her camera in the locker room," or at conventions, "Oh, there goes Shelly with her camera all the time," because it wasn't, like, the thing. And I'm
Right.
not putting myself over, I'm just it's funny to me because I would get so much heat, and now some of those people are on YouTube or have
Right. Yeah.
podcasts,
Right.
and I'm just like,
Right.
"You bitches." But anyways, so, like, that's who I am because I have always from day 1 when I knew I wanted to do YouTube, I knew I wanted to share my life, my thing, my thing, everyone has a thing. I wanted to be like, no one else has been Ariel, no one else has been Salinas, and no one else is Shelly Martinez on the indies, and I wanna show that world. There's a documentary, called Depeche Mode 101, and then there's this other documentary, called Another State of Mind, and that one follows a bunch of punk bands back in, like, the '80s. One of the bands that they highlight that they highlight is Social Distortion, and they show you just, like, life on the road in these raw ways, and when I saw both of those films back in the day, that's when I was like, "Oh my gosh, documentaries." Like, I wanna share my life through that lens and give the viewer that, like, rawness, and so when I did my Save Wrestling, which was when I take my cameras on the road with me, brother, I shot it in black and white because on, Depeche Mode 101, there's, like, black and white moments and stuff like that, so, like, it's a whole thing, and it's always what I've been about, and so I missed out, dude, last year, and I kicked myself in the ass that I didn't dig deeper to just walk around and get my content. And so, like, now I'm ready to go or walk around, get my content, have fun, and embrace why I love doing the damn convention runs, you know?
Yeah.
I think I allowed my experiences and other people taint that too much for me, and that's fine, like, I needed that break. 'Cause I was hustling hard for years on that.
Oh yeah. No, I remember always seeing your name pop up on shows, and then you didn't, and they weren't popping up on shows anymore. And then I would see Shelly Martinez is going to appear at her last convention. Shelly's gonna, and actually, I don't think I had met you, but I remember when you were doing your last, I think it was WrestleCade or something,
Mhm.
and I think maybe Francine might have been at the table with you guys and somebody else too. But I had popped by that table to say hi to Francine. And then I think you did your last like indie show. I remember Kevin went out to California and worked with you out there like 10 years ago or something. Like, I just remember you were retiring and then you were doing it and then you're retiring again. But you need to come back out and do some things again. You need to. I think
Well,
you
hold
feel
the
like you're in a better
horses.
place.
This is what it was actually. I knew I was going to have my last match, and it was, like, in an October. So before that October, I think it was October, or was it September? September, October-ish, and, 2018. And right before that, that's when Kevin and I got booked on something in California, Northern California.
Yeah.
And I knew that I had to do it because that was when I said I always said when I'm gonna retire, I'm gonna retire. And I've always said I'd only come out of retirement for Lucha Underground and WoW. So, like, I don't know. So, don't get me wrong, there's times that I've thought of it just because, like, what else am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? To help put in here in my household. It's like, what else am I supposed to do? But I don't know, like, I could see myself having that fun and getting out there, having matches like I was, but it's just, like, so much sacrifice, like, that there goes my weekends, and then, like, this and that and the other, and then I know some people will say, "Oh, well, you don't have to do it all the time and just do it here and there," but it's like, I don't know, like, I entertained it a little bit a few months back, but I really think I'm just kinda done unless WoW wants me, and I don't think they do. And Lucha Underground's unless he comes back or someone comes back with Lucha Underground, then there's that, but I don't know.
But, I mean, Kevin's probably getting to the end of his road too. Maybe one more time with him
Oh my
before he
gosh, that'd be
retires.
awesome. That would be
I mean, like,
awesome.
that's gotta be something, but I'm talking about too with the conventions. I mean, I know you haven't done as many as you were, but, I mean, maybe it's, maybe,
I'm getting a little bit
maybe
more
we branch out a little bit.
I'm getting a little more open with that. Here's the thing, I have a family member that I've been taking care of for a couple years now, and that's my main priority. And even though taking care of them now isn't how it was a few years ago when they first came here, like, it's not that time yet. That's why Vegas is easy because it's just right there, And so
Hop, skip, and a jump.
yeah, and you know what's really effing cool, actually? I saw a interview that Terry Reynolds did, who I effing love Terry Reynolds. And, one of the things that they had brought up to her was how she only would work TVs and pay-per-views. And she said, "Well, that's what I told them because I wasn't going to leave my kid at home and not have those moments, but okay, I'll show up for a TV or for pay-per-views, but that's all I'm gonna do." And so I was like, "Damn right, freaking Terry Reynolds. Damn right." This is why I love Terry Reynolds. She is her. That's all I gotta say. If you guys are familiar with her, you know what I'm talking about. Like, and to me, I just love how straightforward, how no, like she's Terry Reynolds, and so that's kind of how I feel right now. And I have these responsibilities. I can't just go off playing wrestler, but when those responsibilities lighten and I'm not needed as much anymore because that family member's better now, like, I would be open to doing, like the big event. I miss those shows. Like, that's a really good one, or what's the other one? There's another big one. But I think I'd be open to that. And it would be cool to do them with like Kevin sometimes or whatever, like while we can. Like, I think like that I'm open to for sure. And if Kevin had a retirement match and wanted to incorporate me, I would definitely do that. Mark, so that's it goes on the other, that's what would get me out of retirement right there. But and I even though I got to perform with LAX one more time when it was shoot, East Coast, oh, that really big convention and then they have wrestling shows. Oh, what was it called? Oh, I'm having such a brain fart right now. It's whatever. So
I think
any
I know what you're talking about. I can't.
I
Not
I
big
keep wanting to
time.
big time.
Was it big
No,
time
was it
wrestling?
daytime wrestling? Shoot, no, big time wrestling. They got me Anyways, I'm so sorry if you're watching this. I'm not trying to disrespect.
East Coast Professional Wrestling, was it them?
No, it's like the really big. It's not the big event, is it? No, I don't think it's the big
Now,
event.
big event, Battleground.
No. Anyways, we got to perform there one last time, and it was really awesome. The crowd was hot. Gosh, now I'm curious. I gotta.
When
look
was
it
that?
up.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh my gosh, hold on.
I'm in the dark on that one.
It was years ago. Oh, where was it? Because I remember there was like it was like a really awesome, and it's like something that goes on all the time.
Yeah, the ones that incorporate the matches is the Battleground is the one that's in Philly. That's the one that goes with the Icons convention, which I don't even know if they're doing Icons anymore. Big event is huge now. It's bigger than it ever was.
Well, it is the big event.
Rhode Island Comic Con.
Oh, that one's really good too. But
Rhode
no.
Island is huge. Yeah, that's a big one. Oh man.
Oh, I had to. I don't know. It's driving me nuts now, but I can't waste time talking about it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it was really awesome. The crowd was hot. They were all about us. Like, it was so amazing. So I feel like I got that one last time with them, even though I wish we could have done a one last time, like in TNA when they do one of these, like bringing people like kind of back for a pay-per-view kind of match thingy or whatever. So there's that. But I feel like Kevin and I need to have a final bow. Like, we never got that proper. And I feel like with LAX, that event that we did that was so awesome, we were able to do that because that was kind of unsaid or unfinished business because of how I quit. It was just like, boom. So I got that final bow with them, man, but not Kevin.
See, and I'll tell you what, too. I'm surprised that WWE's never done a tribute yet to the ECW on Sci-Fi. They did the whole ECW arena show. I'm surprised they haven't done an ECW on Sci-Fi style tribute yet. So I'm sure they'll do something like that at some point.
I can't remember because it's been a while now. When that ECW whole thing came, and that was a couple years ago, right?
Which
when
one?
they did an ECW, it was like in Philly, and they did.
Well, when Francine was there last October.
Yeah, it was. That's the one.
Yeah, October 24. I want to say.
So what was that?
That was like they did ECW, or they did NXT at the arena for the first time, and they peppered ECW stars.
Oh, okay, now I remember what it was. Okay, backtracking here.
And they had Francine in the crowd, but she had laryngitis.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So if you want to cut all that out, I don't care, because this was what my point is. So when WrestleMania was in Philly, I thought for sure they were going to do something like balls to the wall for ECW. And when I that just didn't happen, I was like,
so I think everybody thought that.
I thought, and then here's the weird thing. There's a lot of money to be made with doing so why? It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, you can't, who turns their back on a buttload of money? Like, Vince McMahon's reputation says he loves money and success, and that would have been money and success. So I don't understand. And I just kept thinking, oh, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be awesome. And I'm not saying for me, but I'm saying I was thinking old school ECW. I wasn't even thinking.
Oh, no. So I thought the other direction. Sorry to cut you off. I apologize.
How dare you?
In advance. But no, I was going to bring in Kevin that weekend to Philly. He ended up, I think, going on vacation that same weekend. It was a spring break vacation. But what I was doing was we were trying to set up different appearances where he was going to represent the other ECW and be the heel against the ECW guys, whether it was on the indie shows or whatever was going on. So we were completely playing into the ECW, and we were going to try to capitalize on that whole entire WWE ECW thing that they haven't done. Well, we were really trying to play it up, and people were feeling it. The promoters were into it, but it didn't work out. So,
what a
and I was
flop.
glad. Yeah.
That was a flop move right there, I feel. But whatever. Who am I? I don't know what I'm talking about.
What are you going to do?
I don't know.
Hindsight 2020. Well, listen, we are 1 hour and 1 minute into the show, and we haven't talked about anything that we went over in
No.
pre-production. And actually, I have something that we haven't even talked about that I'm dying to actually get your opinion on, because it is the craziest story of the week, and I don't know how you and I haven't talked about it yet.
Let's hear it.
What is the deal with Savannah Guthrie's mom getting abducted? Have you followed this at all?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What? You haven't seen anything about this? Oh my gosh.
What are you talking about?
Savannah Guthrie, okay, of the Today Show.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who that is? She's the co-host of the Today Show. Her 84-year-old mother was kidnapped from her home in Arizona. Okay. And this is like old school style, like mystery, where they're like receiving ransom notes for this 84-year-old lady. And the police in Arizona are baffled by what's happening with the crime scene and the ransom notes. And as we record this, there are deadlines now that are passing for the return of this old woman. And everybody is like all in a tizzy because they don't know what to do, because they have no clue as to who took this woman away from her home on Saturday night. Yeah. You haven't seen anything about this. It's been all over.
Dude, I've been sick. I've been processing my own stuff. I don't watch the news. I gave up on the news a long time ago. So no, dude, I'm just living in my vampire bubble.
It's been on TMZ. It's been all over my social media timeline. All right.
Yeah, it's not on my timeline. That's where I get my news.
Well, that's where I get mine too. So, all right. Well, we're going to shelve it then. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to give you anything I don't want to misinform you. I want you to see it for yourself.
I will have to do some research.
This story is insane. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie abducted from her house, and her daughter is the co-host of the Today Show, Savannah Guthrie. You got to see how crazy this is. It's like a movie. Like they're literally doing like the family is doing like pleas to the kidnapper to return the mom. There's ransom notes being sent to TMZ. It's insane what's going on. It's like a freaking movie. So yes, we will get you informed on that before we report. I'm not doing any kind of fountain of misinformation here on this show. Hell to the no. I do have your clip loaded though in my media database if you'd like to go over that.
Let's do it. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be deep for me. Let's do it. The time has come.
So your clip that you sent me is going to play in full on the screen in front of us.
Okay.
All right, stand by.
I would like for you to eat the steak and the foie gras. I really would.
I can't do that.
You can, but you won't. Yet.
No, I can't do it. I'm not trying to be rude. I won't do it.
Listen, I understand that it's not going to be easy, but I refuse to accept that you don't have a price. $5,000 to eat the steak and this decadent foie gras. Could you do that?
You should eat it. Just close your eyes. It's a lot of money.
Eat it with some of the liver.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
A lifetime of discipline and commitment to cause wiped away by a mere $10,000. Now, that is nothing compared to what's really at stake tonight. I can assure you of that.
It's a great movie. I love that movie.
I've never seen it before. I saw that clip on something on Instagram. Now, the way that clip was used was not why I wanted to bring it up today. When I saw that clip, it spoke to me so effing hard. So hard. Even I've seen it back quite a few times now. It's still heavily, like my whole vibe's different than just a few minutes ago. And here's why. Here's some TMI. Go ahead, hit the alarm.
Oh, I'm going to hit the alarm. There's the alarm. Hold on.
All right, here we go. So I want to say 2009, 10-ish. For reasons that I'm not going to get into right now. That's when I decided I no longer wanted to do topless or nude content. Because prior to that, I had. And my whole thing was like, I always wanted to be in Playboy, like the whole 9 yards. So I always thought that that was what my future was going to be, is eventually I'd be in Playboy, I'd be a playmate. And then, because a lot like wrestling, there's a lot of like signings and conventions that go along with that as well. So I thought it'd be cool to be one of those girls that have been in wrestling that did Playboy. So I changed my mind and I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. So I had this whole rule that was like no nips, no vag. That's the thing. I'll wear something scantily clad all day long for like a shoot or like whatever, sexy outfit, but no nips, no vag. And I kept to it, and people would offer me so much money for shoots. And I'm not talking about like customs. I'm talking about like real photo shoots. And not like they were saying, oh, like a custom would, like, oh, let me give you this money. It was like, hey, you're in this modeling database. You've done nude before. That's not what they're saying, but the vibe is you're in a database because you've done topless nude before. So we want to book you. And I would turn stuff down. I'm like, oh, I don't do topless and nude anymore. And they're like, why? Blah, blah, blah. So I stuck to it, man. And then let's go into the era of broke ass Shelly and more of the fetish stuff and the fetish content and all that. My whole thing was always, well, at least I'm not naked or topless. So that's why feet content and all this weird stuff. I would just be like, well, at least it's not, and then just go about my way, not thinking twice about how dark it is. So there was a time where this is where this clip came into me. I was like, damn, dude. I've never, ever, ever said this out loud ever until right now. There was a time where I was really, really broke. And I was in a really, really bad place. And this fan of mine offered a lot of money for just one photo. And I broke my rule and I did it.
Wow.
And even though it was years ago, it bothers me to this day.
Really?
It bothers me to this day because I feel like I sold a piece of my soul because I made a pact with myself for my reasons of that part of my life is over, of doing topless and nude stuff. And this is no knock to anyone that does it out there. Everyone's on their own journey. The reasons why I stopped doing it are very valid to me. And so I kind of was like, whatever. And it weighs on me. And then just like that movie, when it's just like, just close your eyes, da da da. That's like when I've tried to like without saying that story, but just be like, oh, I just have guilt about like some of the modeling I've did and like to other girls. And they would just be like, well, so what? Like, it's already done, or it was just one photo, like, whatever. Because, like, that's all I've ever said is like, oh, I just did this one photo one time, whatever. But I never got into like that, why it affected me so much because I broke my rule that I was so, like the man said, disciplined about no matter how much money people would throw my way, even these professional, well done, Playboy like scenarios, even though it wasn't Playboy, like the style was, it was done really well, good money. But I was like, no. But then I was in a place where, like, when the guy says, that's there's a part I clipped out of there. It was like, oh, that's a lot of money. Or no, the guy does say it. He's like, oh, what you can do with it. For me, it was, I can pay my rent with this money. And I carry that guilt with me. I have bad dreams about that in different ways. It comes out in my dreams. And when I saw that clip, because I just seen it like this week, so it's new. Like I never knew this movie existed, and it hit me so effing hard that I was like, you know what? The only way I'm gonna be able to finally let this go is I have to talk about it and like release it. So what better way to do it than on TMI?
TMI. Well, I mean, look, that's a lot to share, 100%. But I mean, look, you have to do what you have to do sometimes. And unfortunately, you did go back on what you promised yourself. Living with it, it's hard, but you have to move past things that you did if it helped you in that current time. I mean, that's the way I look at it. You know,
Yeah, but that's the thing is and I get that, but the reasoning behind why I don't want to do it anymore. And then I did it. And then not only that, but it's one of those things, and I hate this about myself because anytime I've done like fetishy things and they're like, well, at least I'm not naked or, topless, but it was like kind of creepy. And I kind of try to gloss over it. And then I would like do it. And I'm like, oh, well, like whatever. I swear to you, every time, like sometimes within days, some kind of form of money will come my way in a way that doesn't make me feel shame. Whether it's landing a gig, selling a bunch of merchandise, doing a signing, like whatever. Like something always pops up shortly after. And so that's why the guilt sets in. Like this whole thing, I thought, well, just like you did, well, at least I got to pay, blah, blah, blah. And then turns out like I didn't have to do that, dude. And so then that
yeah,
kicks
all
me
right. Yeah, I
that
understand where
kicks
you're
me even
coming with that.
harder.
Right, right.
And I know that some people think it's just boobs, like who cares, like whatever. But point is, I care. I care that this person has this photo of me in a way that I broke the contract with myself because of being in a bad moment. And I hate it. And I'm sure that person's going to see this video and they're going to be like weird about it. And I don't mean for them to feel weird about it because they're still a fan of mine. And I've never brought it up to them. So I knew going into this, talking about it, that there's a good chance that that person's going to, and I don't want them to feel bad because they're not me. I could have just said, no, I told you I don't do topless stuff anymore.
Right.
But and it was so long ago that they're probably like, whoa, that bothers her still? Like, oh. But it does, dude. It does. Because that's how it feels to me is like I sold a piece of my soul in a panic.
Right. Let me ask you this, devil's advocate here. If Playboy was to relaunch in its original form and they called and said, Shelly, you are the one we've been waiting for. We're relaunching, and we've heard that you always wanted to be a playmate, and you're our playmate. Would you go back on it because the Playboy came a calling?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so it's just something that in that moment of weakness you gave into temptation. If you decide to carry that burden on your back, you're going to let all the other little burdens of things that you may have done throughout your life that you're starting to get over and build towards a positive future, you're going to let those things weigh you down more. So
Absolutely.
I'm not saying get over it and move on, but what I'm saying is try to find things or try to find ways to make this feel less burdensome as time goes on.
Well,
Because you did it, and unless you ask for it back or sign an NDA,
but it's not even about that. It's that this person saw me in a form that I am not okay with because I was in a weird moment of panic. And that's why that's why I wanted to talk about this when I saw it, because like again, I just saw this video and that's when I was like, I'm just gonna like put it out there because that's the only way I'm gonna get rid of it. Just like all this other stuff we've been talking through, that's the only way. So I know that just sharing that TMI part of me today or tonight with you and with all the viewers, like that's my first step of finally, because I've never said it out loud. Like I said, when I talked to other girlfriends of mine that are in the industry, I've never gone into detail. I've been like, oh, well, there's like this one photo I did. I wish I didn't. Like there, and then some of my fetish friends were like, oh my gosh, Shelly, like you don't even do topless or nude. And they don't realize
yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. I did. And if I would have said that, even though they probably would have been like, oh, who cares? They would have probably been like, oh my God, because I was so the girl that stuck to my guns. Like, and the thing is, they'd be like, oh, well, no one's gonna see it. And it's like, it's not about that. Like, it's about like you're saying, NDA, it's not about that. It's that it even exists.
I get it.
That
I get what you
when
mean. I
that girl
understand
took
that.
a bite of the freaking meat, and I relate to that because I don't eat meat. And you cannot tell, like when I watched it like over and over, and then I put myself in her shoes as far as the vegetarian part, there's no way. I don't care. There's no way I'm gonna eat a effing steak. There's no effing way. And then that was like when I was like, wait a minute. But then going back to what it triggered, it's so crazy that there's no way I'd eat meat. But years ago, there was a time where I took a bite of that steak as far as the content went.
Right.
And that made me re-examine. I was like, whoa, that's so crazy how I can be so on board when it's like the animal, but when it's me, the animal, I compromised. And it was kind of a scary moment to me to like look at it like that.
That's I feel like anything that I can say isn't going to help because it is something that I can't relate to in that way. But I do relate to the desperation of needing to patch the hole. So I get that part. And in that moment, there are things that I have done that I don't love. But in the moment, don't really, I desensitize myself to the situations because I got to do what I got to do. But then afterwards, I feel that same reflection of, well, probably wasn't the best thing. Wasn't the same thing as you, so I can't relate to that specific example. But I wish I could, so I could give you something a little more
You know what?
substantial advice wise.
You just listening and all that is like enough. Like I'm not like, here's the thing. There's no advice or answers I'm looking for. Because the answer is me reclaiming my energy by saying this out publicly. Like, I'm a firm believer of how impactful saying something is, And if not for nothing, even if people out there still think like, who cares? For me to own my energy and walk away tonight feeling like I finally let go. It's almost like like going to confessional, when people go to you got to get it off your chest. You got to say it out loud. Like that's the only way you got to confess. And then in the Bible, I always got to go there. It does talk about how, confessing your sins to people, how it's a beneficial thing and like da da da. So I just feel like this was my time to confess my sin, even though some people think it's not one. It's my personal one to myself. And it's time for me to let it go because I got WrestleCon to think about and I'm not going to let anything derail me or keep me down. And I feel like this is one of those little tiny things that I need to like kind of chip away at the things that have been weighing me down. I got a big chunk off with the Dave Bautista thing. I got an even bigger chunk off with hanging out with Kevin and that. I've gotten many chunks off with sharing with you and hearing your input and everything, doing my vampire radio and going there on there. So it's like putting everything together. And then on top of it, the good positive ingredients like we were talking about earlier, doing things like Ring the Belle, which is bringing me into the positive end of like, oh, where my pain comes from. It's like, it's all this thing. So it's like, this is the time for me to just continue to chip away at the weight because how you were saying, like the weighing down, I physically have been holding on to it to where I physically am like way down and I just don't want it anymore, man. So that's what the whole point of this TMI exposing myself, possibly losing a member is.
Hopefully not. How'd you like a little bit of levity to go with that?
Let's do it.
Would you like to hear some of the craziest things that porn stars have ever done for money?
No.
No?
Let's hear it.
All right,
Okay,
here we
let's
go.
see.
There we go.
Fart in a jar. Put an enema bottle full of milk up my asshole, dirty, and squirt it in someone's mouth.
What the fuck?
12 girls, one guy. So we're like just spitting the cum into each other's mouth.
Oh my gosh. What do I do?
Probably shit on the floor and send it as a video.
Thank you for that.
How much they offer for that? That's crazy.
A couple $1,000s. Like in Queef on Command.
Damn, what is that, bro?
I was offering it $10 Queef on Commands, but nobody's gotten any.
Wanted me to use an air mattress pump to play like with my, put the air over my and like masturbate with it. He wanted me to put it in my mouth and act like I was blowing myself up with it until I got pregnant.
Fart in a jar.
TMI alarm.
On that vibe, one of the things throughout the years when I feel down in the dumps about it is I think about some of the things that people do to stay famous and the disgusting things they do. And that's what's helped me is like, well, at least I'm not like so-and-so over there doing this and that and the other. So, I've beaten myself up over this, but I don't beat myself up too much, but it's something that does affect me because it's very triggering in many ways. But I already feel better now. And I really hope that if that fan of mine is watching this, that they don't feel anything negative because it's all me. It's not you, it's me, for real. It's all me. It's all me. This is why, Chad, when people try to say, oh, you should do this, that, and the other, like fetishy stuff, it's like I am too sensitive to be in that industry. I feel too much. I absorb too much. That's why failed OnlyFans model. I always throw that out there. That's who I am because it's just too much for me. It's not for me.
Hey, I saw a story about a 80-year-old lady who was celibate for 40-something years, and now she's escort. So
there you go.
She's changing her life, and I don't know what the point of me saying that was. I was just trying to make you laugh.
Instead, I pictured it.
I had to
That's
see
what I
what
did.
she looked like, so I'm trying to wipe that out of my brain.
I made up what she looked like.
And she wasn't the one who got abducted either. So that's
No.
that's the other thing. But wow. All right. Well, look, this has been a hell of an episode number 6. And we've got some other things to cover for next week. But in between that time, somebody's got a birthday coming
I
up.
do.
So I would love to have some sort of birthday celebration next week. So we will have a celebratory birthday drink together next week on the air. So
That sounds good because it's the
um,
birthday week for sure for me because my birthday lands on a Tuesday this year.
that sucks.
Or
That's
was it
awful.
Monday? Monday or Tuesday? I think it's a Tuesday.
What's the birth date?
9.
The 9. That is So that's a Monday.
Oh, Monday. So Tuesday,
Yeah.
I have plans. It'll be awesome. And so it's like keeping the party going. So really, if you think about it, if Monday's my birthday, it's kicking off the entire week of my birthday week. So
Yeah.
I think every day I got to do some kind of celebratory thing.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
I'm down. I mean, but look, when we get together next time, we will have that drink that we've been trying to catch up with more than like 8 seconds notice. And we'll do it up. Maybe we'll even keep them flowing through the show and really get a little messy. And
Oh, let's get messy.
the TMI alarm will be on loop the whole
Yeah.
time
Mhm.
throughout the show. But if you have been enjoying what you're seeing, head on over to the Shelly Martinez channel right here. Well, you're already on the channel. You're watching it on YouTube. Go back and check on all the episodes of TMI so far, all 6 total episodes. And hey, you don't know what you're missing because it's been a phenomenal ride so far. Stories aplenty and so much more to come. But if you want to keep following me, it's at Chad EMB on X and at IB Exclusives on Instagram. You can catch previews of the show. You can catch little things that we share between each other that we've talked about on the show, that little follow-ups pop up in the timeline, and we share them on there. So if you're following, get on there and talk with us and let us know what you're thinking.
Yeah. And then if you want to find out what the hell I'm doing, just go to shellymartinez.net/links. It's all there. I just updated that page and my links on there, my link tree for Vampire Radio and all that good stuff. So shellymartinez.net/links.
All right. Well, before we fart in a jar and send it to you for only $10, according to certain people, we'll get out of here for this week. For Shelly from Cali, this is the Chadster. We will catch you on the flip side.